Hello, everybody.
Yo!
I'm Omega.
And I'm Nippon, and together we're
CPVAs. The CPV. I messed it up. I messed it
the
up on the first
TCPVAs.
episode.
No, shh, they don't know yet. They haven't noticed.
We're the CPVAs. Yay!
Yay! And if you haven't guessed, this is our very first thingy
Episode video.
episode.
One of many, probably. Hopefully. So,
Yes.
we're voice actors
We also do singing,
and various other recording
vocal
facets.
things.
Yes. So today, for our first episode, we decided we're going to do a one-act play.
Cold read.
It's a cold read. We haven't seen this thing at all yet. So
No.
we're also going to be reacting to the lines that we have to say. So
Yes. We'll probably try not to do it too much, but if something like shocks us, you'll probably hear one of us react, and it's probably not in the script.
yeah. So one thing you should probably know about us if you haven't guessed, we are friends, best friends, essentially.
Yes.
So some of the stuff we end up saying to each other may end up sounding awkward, which is the main reason why we pause.
Yeah. We're kind of awkward people.
So I think without further ado, we should get started so you can see what we're talking about.
Okay, for this play, I'm gonna be playing a character named Lady Torminster.
and I'm
Good name.
and I'm playing a character named Sir Geoffrey, and the play is called The Open Door by Alfred Sutro.
Okay, let's start. Oh,
What a start! What a start you gave me. Why haven't you gone to bed? That is not the line.
what are you reading?
I was reading your line. Great start we're having here. Pick up. Hello. Don't be afraid. It's only I.
What a start you gave me. Why haven't you gone to bed?
I'm tired of going to bed. One always has to get up again, and it becomes monotonous. Why haven't you gone to sleep?
I don't know. It's too hot or something. I've come for a book.
Let me choose one for you.
Why were you sitting in the dark?
Because the light annoyed me. What sort of book will you have? A red one or a green one?
Is there a virtue in the color of the binding?
Why not? They're all the same inside. There are 300 ways, they say, of cooking a potato. There are as many of dressing up a lie and calling it a novel. But it's always the same old lie. Here, take this. Popular astronomy. That will send you to sleep.
The stars frighten me, but I'll try it. Good night.
Good night.
And you really had better go to bed.
I move as an amendment that you sit down and talk.
At this time of night?
Why not? It's day in the antipodes.
And in this attire?
You were more dressed than you were at dinner. That's awful.
Whoa!
What? You're more dressed than you were at dinner. That's awfully rude, isn't it? But then, you see, you're not my hostess now. You're a spirit, walking in the night. One can't be polite to spirits. Sit down. Oh, shade, and let us converse.
I don't know.
The household have all retired, and we will make this concession to Miss Grundy. We will leave the door open. There. The open door. Centuries ago, when I was alive, I remember paragraphs with that heading.
So, you're not alive now?
Sir Geoffrey Transome ceased to be when he said good night to Lady Torminster. Sir Geoffrey is upstairs asleep. So is her ladyship. Where are their souls? Let us talk.
You are in a whimsical mood.
And you in your wrapper, pig noir, tea gown. It don't matter what you call it. You look jolly. Ridiculous word. I don't mean that at all. You look you. More you than I've seen you in 4 years. Than I've seen you for years. Shh. Don't interrupt.
Shh, don't speak no words.
Shades never do that. By the way, do you know that the old lumber room, my owner, my Corporal Sheath, needs to go away in the morning before you're up?
Sir Geoffrey! What nonsense! You promised to stay a month.
I assure you, I've been charged to invent fitting and appropriate lies to account for the ridiculous creature's abrupt departure. The man Transome is a poor liar.
You are making me giddy. Would you mind putting on your body? What does that
I
mean?
don't even know.
Oh, because they're being ghosts. Sorry. Oh, I've not been introduced to your soul.
How very remiss of me! Permit me, Gertrude, this is Geoffrey. You often heard of me speak of him.
I think I'll go to bed.
Now that is preposterous. Jack, my dear old friend, the best and only friend I have in the world, is slumbering peacefully upstairs, and Jack's wife is reluctant to talk to Jack's old pal because the sun happens to be hidden on the other side of the globe. Lady Torminster, sit down. If you're good, you shall have a cigarette.
Well, just one. And when I've done it, I'll go to bed.
Agreed. And while smoking it, remember Penelope's web, for I've heaps of things to tell you.
They'll keep till tomorrow.
That's a fearful delusion. Nothing keeps. There's one law in the universe. Now.
I want to know what you mean by the nonsense. You moved the thing and I can't see where I'm at now.
I'm sorry. Right here.
Oh, I want to know what you mean by the nonsense about your going.
Yes, I'm off in the morning. It has occurred to me that I haven't been to China. Now that is a serious omission. How can I face my forefathers and confess to them that I haven't seen the land where the yellow labor comes from?
China has waited a long time. A month or less will make no difference. They are a patient race.
There's gypsy blood in my veins. I must wander. I'm restless. Not like Jack. He's untroubled. He can sleep. And Jack's a fine sleeper, isn't he?
Yes.
Calm, serene, untroubled, with the conscience of a babe. 1, 2, 3. He sleeps. He and I have had some rare times together.
I'm sure you have. I'm sorry.
Pick up. He and I have had some rare times together. I've been roped to him on the Andes. He shot a tiger that was about to scrunch me. I rubbed his nose when it was frostbitten. He saved my life. I saved his nose. I always maintain that the balance of gratitude is on his side, for where would he have been without his nose?
You are absurd.
Would you have married him without a nose?
I might have.
No. No, you know you wouldn't. Now you know you wouldn't. You'd have been afraid of what people would say. And what would he have done when he became short-sighted and had to wear glasses?
My cigarette has gone out.
Take another. Never relight. Never relight a cigarette. It's like dragging up the past. Here.
I said only one.
This is not the hour for inflexibility. The Medes and Persians have all gone to bed.
Tell me why you mean to leave us. And remember, I shan't let this one go out.
My explanation will be handed to you with your cup of tea in the morning.
And you'll be gone?
I shall be gone. There is a train at 7:45 which will be packed with husbands. I shall breakfast in town.
Why?
Well, one must breakfast somewhere. It's a convention.
Sir Geoffrey, I want you to tell me what this means.
Give your decision, said the judge to the arbitrator. But never your reasons. I go because I go. Besides, has one reasons? Why do people die or get married or buy umbrellas? Because of typhoid, love, or the rain? Not at all. Isn't that so?
I wish you'd be serious.
I'm fearfully serious. When Jack shot that tiger, he had to go so near the brute that he held his life in his hands. Do you know what my chief impression as I lay there, with that ugly cat's paw upon my chest beginning to rip me?
Horrible. What?
I resented having eaten something that smelt like onions.
A tiger?
Onions may have been his undoing. That's the beggar's skin on the floor. But you should have seen me rope Jack's nose.
Sir Geoffrey, there's very little cigarette left.
There are lots more in the box, and dawn is a long way off. Hang it, Lady Torminster. Don't be in a hurry. Do you hear the sea out there? It's breathing as regularly as old Jack. And don't you think this is fine? Here we are, we two, meeting just as we shall meet on the other side of the Never Never Land. It's a chance for a man to speak to a woman and tell her things.
What things?
That's just it. What things? What have I to say after all? I'm going tomorrow because I am a fantastic, capricious ass. And because I'm lonely.
How will China help you?
They color it green on the map, and there is such a lot of it.
You should get married.
You say that. You? Oh, You say that. You?
So, that is why you're going?
No, that really is fine of you. Every other woman in the world would have seized the chance for a melodramatic exit. Good night. Sir Geoffrey, I must go to my husband. Good night, Sir Geoffrey. I must go to my husband. Good night, Lady Torminster. A clasp of hot, a clasp of the hand, a hot tear, mine on your wrist. But you sit there, splendid.
I ask you again, is that truly why you are going?
Well, yes, that's the fact. I apologize humbly. It's so conventional, isn't it?
I suppose it's difficult for human beings to invent new situations.
You've known it, of course, all the time. You've known it ever since Jack brought me to you, the day after you were engaged, and that's 9 years ago? It's the usual kind of fatality.
These things happen.
Yes, well, I thought I was cured. I've been here 5 days and I find I am not. So I go. And that's best, isn't it?
Yes.
It's so infernally stupid. You're a beautiful woman, of course, but there are heaps of beautiful women. You've qualities, well, so have other women, too. I'm only 41, and as you say, why don't I marry? Simply because of you. Because you, an uncomfortable knack of intruding between me and the other lady.
That is a great misfortune.
It's most annoying. So I shall try China. I shall come back in 2 years. I shall be 43 then. I shall come back sound as a bell, and I shall marry some healthy, pink-cheeked young woman. Take a house next to yours, and in the fullness of your eldest son, shall fall in love with my daughter.
Why not?
I shouldn't have told you, of course, but I'm glad that I have. It clears the air. Now, what excuse shall I make?
A wire from town?
Jack knows all about my affairs. In fact, that's why I take the early train to avoid his questions.
You find it impossible to stay out of your time? Wait, stay out your time here?
Quite. There are moments when I am unpleasantly volcanic.
Then I tell you the best thing to do. Don't take your trunks. Just go up with a bag. Leave a note, and you'll come back on Tuesday. Then wire from town and say you're prevented.
That's a good idea. Yes, that's much better.
And if you find you really cannot come back,
Exactly. You'll forward my goods and chattels. And old Jack will ascribe it all the way to, to my wayward mood. I'm sorry. Hiccup. Exactly. You'll forward my goods and chattels, and old Jack will ascribe all of my wayward mood. All to my wayward mood. He'll think I have found it too dull down here. Immensely obliged.
remark that I have not offered to be a sister to you.
You've been superb. Oh, the good talk we've had. Do you know I could almost wish old Jack to have heard what I said. I'm so fond of him. That grand old fellow that I've been to the point of telling him myself more than once. For you know he will have me take you about. And it's painful. Besides, I felt it almost disloyal to keep this thing from him. You understand, don't you?
Yes.
He and I almost are one, you see. It's not British to show any feel. Oh, we're not British either. It's not British to show any feelings, but really, I love him. And the devil comes along, and of all women in the world, singles out Jack's wife and fills my heart with her. That's the devil's sense of humor.
Perhaps he has read Bernard Shaw. But you must never let Jack no, never.
I suppose not. He's so direct, so single-minded, that the shock would be terrible. But I'm not to blame. How could I help it? Oh, all that cackle about being master of one's fate.
2 years in China.
Well, hope so. Of course. It didn't matter about my telling you, because you knew already.
Yes, I knew. Although,
Oh, you've done what you could. I felt in 100 subtle ways how you almost implored me not to. Well, there it is. I'll write that note at once.
I'm sorry you're so lonely.
That's my fault, too. The fact of all the ridiculous class to which we belong. I don't do anything.
Why not?
What would you have me to do? Go into the house? Thank you. I've been there. You spend your time on the terrace or in the smoke room till a muffin bell rings. Then you gravely walk into the lobby, where an energetic gentleman counts you as Polyphemus counted his sheep. Philanthropy. Well, I've tried that. But it's not in my line. I'm quite a respectable landlord, but a fellow can't live all by himself in a great Elizabethan barrack. Town, the season, Christian mothers invite you to inspect their daughters' shoulders, with a view to purchase. I'm tired of golf and polo. I'm tired of bridge, so I'll try the good sea and the open plains, sleep in a tent and watch the stars twinkle, the stars that make you afraid.
Yes, I'm afraid of the stars.
Why?
Why? You remember the Persian poet. I too have said to the stars and the wind, I will. But the wind and the stars have mocked me. They have laughed in my face.
Persian poets, like all poets, have a funny way of pretending that the stars take an interest in us. To me, it's their chief charm that they're so unconcerned. They're lovely, too.
Don't say that again. Don't. I can't bear it.
Gertrude?
Whoa! You just called me my first name. Hold up. Hold up. Yes? I mean, yes. Sorry. I don't know my cue.
Well, well, I suppose we had better turn in.
When do you go to China?
I shall take the first boat.
And when will you come back?
In a year. Or 2. Or 3.
We shall hear from you.
Certainly. And I will send you chests of tea, best family souchong, and jars of ginger. Also little boxes that fit into each other. I'm afraid that is all I know at present of Chinese manufacturers.
You won't be away so long.
You told me to do something. I shall learn Chinese. I believe there are a few hundred letters in the alphabet.
As many as that?
It is possible that I exaggerate. Well, Lady Torminster, I think I'll say good night.
The sun is still shining in the antipodes, my dear Geoffrey. And you are still Jack's old friend. Talking to Jack's wife. Sit down and don't be foolish. You'll be away for years. It's possible we may never meet again. It's possible, too, that next time we do meet, you may be married.
Who knows?
Exactly. Who knows? So there's no reason why we shouldn't look each other squarely in the face for once and speak out what's in us.
Oh, Lady Torminster. What is there to say?
How you resent my having told you.
Resent?
You do, and you know it. In your heart you are saying, always going so well. She has spoiled it. If she does love me, she shouldn't have said it. Jack's wife.
Well, Jack's wife. Yes.
Geoffrey, Jack bores me.
Lady Torminster?
There, I've said it. Oh, it's such a relief. I've never have before, and I don't suppose I shall again. For whom can I say it but you? Listen, I tell you, quite entre nous. He bores me shockingly. What, you gonna laugh at my French?
Just randomly fell into the French. I didn't know you knew French.
I took it for 2 years.
Lady Torminster, I beg of you.
The best fellow in all the world, and he bores me. A heart of gold, a model husband, a perfect father, and a bore. There, I assure you I feel better.
I suppose there are moments when every woman says that of every man.
My dear Geoffrey, please send for your soul. It has wandered off somewhere, and I don't feel like talking to copybooks.
You are talking to Jack's friend.
Jack's friend and mine. Don't forget that. And could I see these things about Jack? Sorry, I have candy in my mouth. I need to get this out. I never knew I was going to have so many lines all of a sudden.
We're so professional.
And could I say these things about Jack to anyone else? And can't you conceive what a joy it is to say them? Besides, aren't we just now on the rim of the world? Aren't we a little more than ourselves? Aren't we almost on the other side of things? If we ever meet again, we shall look curiously at each other and wonder, was it all true? As it is, I am scarcely sure that you are real. Everything is so still, so strange. Jack, he is up there, of course, The dear boy, his big red face pressed on that pillow. Oh, Geoffrey, when Jack brought you to me, and I was engaged, if you only hadn't been so loyal.
Do you know what you are saying?
I am saying the things a woman says once in a lifetime and feels all her life. Oh, it was all so simple. You loved me. You were blinded because of Jack, and I married Jack. I mustn't complain. I am the one of hundreds of women who marry Jack.
A better, finer man never lived.
I dare say, in fact, I am sure. But you should see us when we are alone, sitting there night after night with never a word to say to each other. You tell me you're tired of polo and golf and bridge. Well, how about me? And need you be scowling so fiercely and begrudge me, my only little whale? You were going away?
Yes, I am going away, and I shall marry a Chinese. I shall marry the first Chinese woman I meet.
This is very sudden. Why?
Because at least, not knowing the language, she won't be able to say unkind things about me to my friends.
Geoffrey, is Jack a bore?
He never bores me.
That's because he shot your tiger and you rubbed his nose. Besides, you talk about horses and so on, and yet I heard him for a solid hour telling you about a rubber he lost at a bridge through his partner making diamond trumps when he should have played spades.
He's not clever, of course, and you are. But still, is cleverness everything?
Haven't I told you he's the very best fellow in all the world? And do you think I'm posing, pretending that I'm misunderstood in the rest? You know me better. I am indulging for once in the luxury of absolute candor.
You loved him.
Of course I loved him, and I love him now.
You see?
If we women had a hand in the making of the language, how many words there would be to express our feelings towards the man we are fond of. Of course I love Jack. I'm cruel to him sometimes, and there comes a look into his eyes. He has dog eyes. You know, a faithful Newfoundland.
I don't think women quite realize what friendship means to a man.
I am certain that men don't realize what marriage means to a woman. Dear funeral, am I not a good wife? Shall I not remain a good wife till the end of the chapter? Because there isn't only Jack, there are Jack's children.
Yes.
And isn't it wonderful? When you think of it, here are we two, Jack's friend and Jack's wife, alone on the desert island. And we have confessed our love for each other, and we are able to discuss it as calmly as though it were rheumatism.
If only I hadn't induced you to stay.
My dear friend, you didn't.
I didn't.
Why, no, of course not. I knew you were going tomorrow.
How?
Oh, never mind how I knew. And I suspected you'd be sitting here tonight. So I came down, hoping to find you. I wanted to talk with you, and I extracted your feelings as though it had been a tooth.
And why?
Why? Because it will be something to think of in the dull days ahead. Besides, I knew that you loved me and wanted to be told because your life lies before you. Because your life lies before you. They spelled lies weird, so it makes it seem like anyway. And mine is ended because I love you and insisted you should know. You leave me now, and I have no illusions. Paolo and Francesca are merely a poet's dream. You will marry. Of course you will marry. But this moment, at least, has been mine.
This moment, and every moment, in past and future.
Ah, the future. Strange little syllables that hide so much. I can see you introducing your wife to me, a little shyly. I can see myself shaking hands with her, and with you. My boy is 7 already. Time travels so fast. But it's good to know that you really have loved me all these years.
By day and by night. You and only you.
And I have loved you. Ah, yes, I have loved you. And having said this to each other, we will not meet again till you bring me your wife.
Then.
I have loved you, and I love you for the fine, upright, loyal creature that you are. I love you for loving Jack, and it is Jack's great quality in my eyes that he has been able to inspire such love. And my dear friend, let us not be ashamed, we too, but only very proud and very happy. We shall go our ways and do our duty, but we shall never forget this talk we had tonight.
I am beginning to understand.
You will be less lonely in the future, and I'm no longer afraid of the stars. Brave heart, oh brave little heart that I for a moment have held in mine hands.
Gertrude!
No, stay where you are. Those are the first rays of dawn. I must go. Goodbye. We have no need to shake hands. You and I. Jeffrey, goodbye.
And scene.
Scene!
Well, that was fun. We got to stay serious near the end of the thing as we went on, which is always a good thing. We had a couple of moments we had to pause and take a second to look back. But yeah, we plan on doing more stuff like this. As far as recording goes, we can do other cold reads of one act plays, maybe do a couple warm reads of plays, maybe do a couple comic dubs, maybe a podcast. So we're hoping that you guys enjoy
Stick
what you hear.
around. Yeah, sorry this is kind of scatterbrained. Cold reads are, kind of just like what a voice actor does. If we had actually gone through the script, it would have been a lot more clear. Hopefully, for the most part, you can understand us and you just listen to our stuff.
But yeah, so thanks for sticking around with us. And if you want to see,
Subscribe.
nah, we're not gonna do that. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. That's annoying.
Just like the video. That's good enough for us.
You don't have to like the video. Just do what you want.
Just don't leave me comments.
I mean, you can leave me in comments. We need the critiques. Because we're professionals. We can take whatever you throw at us.
We can take whatever you throw at us, and then we'll turn it into a flower garden.
And then we'll cry in the corner deeply.
It'll water the flowers.
But yeah, so you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like. In fact, you can dislike if you want to. We'll encourage it. We will see you guys later. Next time. See ya.
Bye.
Where's the stop button? There it is.